Shall I begin?
Hit it.
I'd like to call the Fiscal Oversight Committee meeting for December 16th, 2025 to order. This meeting is being live streamed. Let's begin. I'm going to go a little bit out of order because we only have Lou for a few minutes. Lou, would you take items 4H, I, and J?
I need to put that.
Wood Services, De Novo,
Okay.
and Delta T.
Great. First, Wood Services is an agreement that was already presented to you pending solicitor review and approval. It was approved, I think, back in October. We have since gotten updated language that Wood Services was agreeable to. So the new agreement that you'll receive just has that indemnity clause that Sharon Montaigne, our solicitor, was looking for. Everything else remains the same. For that, we're serving one student in that particular program.
Brent De Novo.
Brent Denovi, the actual next two agreements, we're going to present them together. So we currently have a shortage of paraeducators in the district. In some instances, we need people to serve as one-to-one personal care assistants for students with disabilities. Right now, we have 3 vacancies, which we have been unable to fill over a 2-month span. We're close to that. So as such, I started reaching out to companies that I've used in the past, both Brent Denovi and Delta T. We already have an agreement with General Healthcare Resources. That's good for this year. They also provide paraeducators for school districts. So these 2 agreements are also pending solicitor review and approval. As of about 12 o'clock today, we did get the updated agreement from Brent Denovi that also includes those indemnity clauses that Sharon Montaigne requested. So if that's possible, that'll be swapped out from the agreement that you probably have in hand. That one is ready to go with the approval of our solicitor. Delta T, on the other hand, we're waiting for their solicitor to review our recommendations and then present a new agreement that we have not received yet. In regards to the actual service, again, we are just looking for paraeducator services. Last month, you approved an MOU allowing us to go to a third-party provider when we're unable to fill the position ourselves. These positions are only to be filled for the length of time that it takes for us to find our own person. In regards to cost, you'll note that Brent Denovi charges $55 for an hour for what they call a clinical associate. There's a difference between what they deem a clinical associate and just instructional assistants that we hire, in that they provide direct training for behavior-based issues to those individuals. They also provide supervision of those individuals, and those individuals are required to continue training up until the point they get a status of registered behavior technician. Delta T, their services for paraprofessionals, that is $30 an hour. So it's significantly less, but they don't come with the desired training.
Do we have any questions for Lou? Okay, seeing none.
None of those. You do have one more, right? The PESPA third-party vendor, or is that something different? No? Did I make note of something incorrectly here?
PESPA third-party agreement is not on the agenda.
It's not on here. Okay.
That was last month.
That was last month.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Don't know how that appeared. Okay. I don't know what I did there. Okay,
You good?
okay.
All right, Lou, thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, Lou.
If the board would indulge me, I would like to jump to the pirate ship. We have the Palisades Community Foundation represented.
Sure. So, as you're aware, our beloved pirate ship is no more. It was dismantled. Al's crew took it down right sometime before or after graduation. It happened early in the summertime. It was in, major disrepair. Since that time, PCF, and Michael is here with me today, PCF has been beginning to fundraise to replace the ship. What we are talking about doing, or what we have discussed, is having a pretty much the same footprint as what we had in the past. We may have widened it a little bit. I think we're at 16 by 56 now. It was previously 13 by 56 because it was road traveled last time around. We don't intend to do that. So once the pirate ship, if it is approved, is replaced, it will be a stationary fixture. Right now, the discussion with the township has been to replace it as a play structure. So generally speaking, we have been working with an architect. We have been, as I said, talking with township rep. We do need a permit in order to do it. Size, as I said, 16 by 56. We're kind of two things we're looking for. Number one, as we've done in the past, first we're looking for approval, of course, to continue with the process. But from a fiscal point of view, we are, as PCF has done in the past, looking to use capital funding to support the building of the ship, the reconstruction of the ship, and then PCF, we have already begun fundraising, but the idea would be, just as we've done most recently with the sign, to pay back the district for, whatever portion is deemed appropriate. There are things like ground prep that would have to happen. We do have a guesstimate of a price now that we have sort of a sketch of what that pirate ship, and very much the same as what it was. We're talking about a structure where kids or folks could enter from the rear of the ship. It would kind of be like what would you call that? Not a barn door, but
It's like a ramp door.
like a off of a trailer or something like that, that would come down, and it would be then closed when it was not available to be entered. Sort of a play structure in that you can enter, you're gonna go up to the second deck as we had in the past. There may be a pirate ship wheel, et cetera. We haven't really gone as far as all of the accoutrements that could be added to it at this point because it's in early stages. But then the next deck up, there would be like a third deck, so to speak, which would be kind of a viewing deck. So we were thinking about that for class reunion type stuff. When we have folks coming in, they can watch the game from there, VIP seating, blah, blah, blah. So the whole idea from a PCF point of view is right now, is this something that the board is wishing to move forward with? We have heard positive suggestions from our community in that, it's missed, it's an icon in the Palisades community. It's something that the community treasures. The question is, whether or not this is something that the board would be willing for us to proceed with. We would also ask for, assistance with obtaining permits, because obviously it's going to be positioned on school property. So there are things that the district probably would need to be involved with from that point of view. But the idea of fundraising to pay back is what we're seeking approval so that we can move forward if you're interested.
If I could add to that,
Please.
we would seek funding up to a certain point because we've been approached that there are many people who are willing to donate time, material, things like that. Our architect is donating his time, so that comes off the a total cost of the project. So we would ask for funding up to a certain point, but we would also be asking the community to see what services or materials would be forthcoming from the community to bring that actual number to mitigate that actual number.
Right. And the issue of like weatherproofing and things like that, which were not of a concern the last two times the ship was constructed. So we're looking at it in a way, and Al has been helping us on that. We have a small committee. Brian, of course, is very interested in seeing this project completed. Michael's worked with us on it as well. But we've thought about, how can we keep it weather tight so that there's not maintenance that's, not a ton of maintenance that's going to be involved. Obviously, you can't throw a stone in Palisades without hitting a contractor. So we're expecting that we would do, a community build day, that sort of thing to bring this project to fruition. But we would anticipate it being something, in the community that would be wanted, and so therefore folks would lend a hand with the construction of it.
What is the budget number you're looking for?
Right now, we're in the $70,000 to $80,000 number, and that is, frankly, with including labor, as I recall the conversation. So it will. I hate to say that it's going to come in for less because I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. So what I'd like to say is 70 to 80,000 is what we're looking for.
Questions?
Yes.
Go?
Questions.
Okay. I guess I'm just curious now, you're saying about this drop door, that would come down, loading, whatever. So the use of it would strictly be when someone in the district makes it available. So it's not always available for
Correct.
someone to use.
That's correct.
So do you anticipate that to be just when the fields and things over there are being used?
Yeah.
Mostly?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's an iconic, symbol
Mhm.
on our field. Football games, obviously. We have staff who are available, event staff there, but we don't want to be don't want it to be an onerous situation for those folks either. So it would have to be limited to,
Mhm.
just when the field is available, open for games, that kind of thing. And then the design, as I mentioned with that door, would then be locked when, we wouldn't want people to be on that ship.
Okay.
What does a playground set cost? I mean, this is what it is, basically.
For example, the door box one,
Anyway,
that was somewhere around 95,000 to 110, somewhere in that neighborhood. The last piece that we put in.
yeah, so this would be comparable to that. And if we consider it not entertainment, but a playground
Like
type,
recreation, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Linda, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess, so the number that you gave us is the number you're anticipating for the full project. So if you could just explain the idea then of the payback, just let me, I want to understand that better.
Sure.
Sure, and I think right now, we're in the last payment of the sign. So usually what happens, or what has has traditionally happened with the last few projects that we've done is the money's fronted by the district and then we raise money throughout the year. Now, I mean, ideally, if we could pay back in and around a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year, that would be amazing. It really does depend on, of course, community. But at this point, we've had two very successful events. We had an event not too long ago at the BW Social Club, which was very well attended. It was a lot of fun. And we had the Wizards game this year, which was also very well attended. 5K tends to bring us in and around $10,000, $12,000. I mean, we're looking, obviously, given that you are interested in continuing, now we have an opportunity and an obligation to start to, pound on some doors. Waring's, for example, we would anticipate that Vernon Waring would be generous because he started the Jolly Roger Society, which then became PCF. So I would expect that he would be willing to donate, I don't know, at least something toward materials, something
Well,
like
I
that.
guess I'm wondering, is there a percentage of this you're looking to pay back, or you're thinking you would eventually pay it all back? That's what I want to understand.
Well, I think it depends on the generosity of the board.
Okay, so in X amount of time, whatever we can come up with,
I would say that realistically, let's use the sign as an example.
okay,
We did half of the sign
okay,
and we did it over a 5-year period.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And the first project was the track, right?
Multiple
Yeah.
projects have been
Yeah.
handled.
Sure.
Right.
Lights.
There were
Uh-huh.
We
lights
don't
at
talk about
the
the tennis courts, but the track and the basketball courts.
lights
outside.
on the,
Lights.
in the field, visitor side bleachers. I mean, there have been a number of projects that PCF has supported. And, I mean, we feel, Michael, I don't want to take
No.
words out of your mouth, but I know that, the community has approached many of us about, what's
Right.
happening with the ship and when,
Yeah, and
when's it
when
coming.
we're at football games, we do hear a lot about, hey, where's the ship? And a lot of people have this idea that it's the district's responsibility to put this ship back. And when we explain, hey, this was not a district project to begin with. This was a private individual who did this way back in the day
Yeah.
when forgiveness was much easier to get than permission.
And then you rebuilt it when
Right.
it
And
burned
then it was
down. So
rebuilt.
we thank the Carr family
Right.
for all the
Right,
work on
so
that.
this time around, we told them that this is something that PCF is going to, do the lifting on with district support, with board support. Obviously, we can't do that without board support, but we understand this is not a pure board project. There's nobody in the staff who's in charge of the ship. So that's up to the community, it's up to groups. It's actually should be our responsibility to get this ship back with group board approval, if the board approves. But hopefully with some percentage of support from the district, knowing that this is something that has been part of, the students' memories and experiences for 2 decades.
And I think from the standpoint of, we have been in touch with Mr. Carr, so he'll be a part of, as we move forward with the project, should we continue with it. We're thinking ribbon cutting and all of those things that are, Palisades hoopla worthy. And we have talked to the tech school as well. I hesitate to bring it up because they weren't as receptive as we would hope that they would have been. However, nonetheless, it doesn't mean that we can't go back and, once again, because the project has become a little more clear as to what the plans will look like and what the structure will look like and how simple it will be, again, very similar to what Scott built in the past.
Yeah, we're sticking with tradition. This is what it's always been. We're not looking to, make a new ship in terms of
A
design.
water park.
Yeah,
I've seen some
or-
of those.
That's what
Somebody is very.
That's what I
Mhm.
I'm kind of
So,
bummed Scott's not gonna drive it out to district game like he did in the past.
You pull it up on a trailer.
Yeah.
With fireworks, by the way.
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Police.
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, Scott, you're here now, so feel free if you want to give the Word.
about 80 grand from this district at this point.
And the district would initially, as they've done with other projects, front the money and then there'd be a overtime, percentage
Payment structure.
payment structure as we've done with the digital sign and numerous other things.
Sure, yeah. So first of all, I apologize for being late. What is the time frame that PCS is anticipating the payback?
Yeah, that's a good question. So honestly, I anticipate the payback. Was that the final question? Sorry. As we have done with the sign, for example, that was a district supported half, PCF paid. The other half, we did it over a 5-year period.
Right. And we're probably
Last
two
payment.
years. Oh, last payment already.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
So okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what we anticipate. If we could do something similar to that, that would be tremendous. As I mentioned earlier, we've had a couple of events so far to help support what we're doing. I think the community is fairly aware of what we intend to do, but with board approval, we'll be able to kick it to the next level.
And was this, sorry, because I don't have any paperwork with me, was this request like a 50-50 though? Just like the sign was 50-50, so this would be 80 up front, but basically district would be covering 40, PCF covering 40
Sure.
or?
Yes, let's go yes.
Yeah, you're good at that, right?
Well, no, I don't want to put,
That's kind of what I was
That-
asking
well,
for, Scott. That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, that would be my preference. If you are willing to do that, that would be our preference. I mean, we're still continuing to raise money to support families. We just did at least 2,500 plus for the Christmas gift stuff. I mean, we still are we'd like to continue to do what we do for the community as well as support this project.
but what's the specific, because I feel like I just hurt ourselves. What was the specific ask for this meeting?
The specific ask was to front the construction, and then for us to begin to work out what that payment process would look like. I mean, frankly, I'm thinking back to the projects that PCF has done. The sign was half, the track was probably
2/3.
no, I thought we paid the track, but the whole project
Oh,
was
that's right.
probably $1.5 million. So I think the track was only 225, not only, but was $225,000 if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, percentages vary. I mean, half would be amazing. And the reason that I say that is because we also have, the ability of then re-looking, as Michael mentioned, as we have an opportunity to talk to local contractors, to talk with Waring about what they are willing to contribute. So all of that could be, my lips to God's ears, massaged back a little bit should we get, additional support.
Right.
from-
So we would be up to 80, up to
Right.
80, assuming nobody
Thank you.
likes us.
Right.
And then,
So if it's less than that, obviously
No,
our
we would
half
ask for
would be less.
that's right, we would ask.
I
Gotcha.
should have said 80-20, Scott.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here with the problem is coming in late and then all eyes go on you, right? You're like, ugh. So let me just preface, I think we need a ship, okay? So, I think it is a huge part of Palisades and the kids and so forth, so totally in favor of it. And, totally appreciative for everything that PCF does. So I don't want anything to be misconstrued by my off the cuff, and off the top of my head comments. However, I don't like the idea of, just an open, we're gonna front this and we'll work out the details later, because then it gets, quite frankly, the details don't get worked out later. And I don't think it's fair to PCF to not have clear direction. And I don't think it's fair for the board or the taxpayers to not have clear direction. Well, what is it that you're, approving? What are we putting up to the full board, to approve? So I do think that we should be black and white here, you know, with what it is.
I can appreciate it. That's why we're going with the exact same design, it's basically the exact same thing. I mean, the architect looked at pictures from all angles, and we basically have a sketch. It's a little bit wider because we're not taking it on the road. So, and also for materials, 16 feet is much easier than 13 feet.
Right.
So it's going to be more cost effective if we actually do 16 feet. And, you know, I'm sure there's everybody here is, well, a lot of people here are familiar and have experience with building things. So when we put a number out, you know, we know we're not, you know, talking to people who don't know. So I think we're all in this together. We want to get it done as efficiently and as cost effective as possible. But also we want to do it so that, you know, in 5-6 years, we're not, another group is not like, oh geez, it's starting to chip away, it's starting to rot. You know, we want to put effort and thought, and not that Scott Carr didn't do that, but, you know, I think now that we have a better understanding of what the weather can do to these things, let's also make it durable.
I think it lasted a while.
Yeah, it did last a while. It did.
So, to be wooden? Wooden construction?
We've actually kicked around some other materials, and again, composite is a possibility, but we've also talked about, and I don't want to say vinyl siding for the side of it, but we've talked about some other types of materials that I don't know, I'm not sure, Michael, if you do, but the architect who we've brought on board, I've worked with him before. He works with G&S Construction quite a bit. So there's, you know, there are other materials that are available to us to help us.
I think the
keep
architect
maintenance down.
put a good analogy on it. Yes, it's a play structure. It's essentially a shed. So we want to keep it tight, right? We don't want water to get in, but it's kind of like a shed. So we want to use materials that we hopefully will be durable, but not only durable, but look good as it's being weathered.
Just looking into vinyl shiplap,
Yeah.
the material is looking into.
I mean, that's cheaper, but I like the concrete composite.
Yeah.
That's nice stuff. That lasts a long time.
So how does the committee feel? I'll just throw something out there so that how does the committee feel with recommendation to the board of upfronting the 80, considering that it would be a 50-50 split with like a 5-year payback from DCF?
Good.
All right, I guess we have direction then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll have to.
Can
All
I
right.
I'm sorry, just for my minutes. So this would be included in the 26-27 budget?
Yes.
Okay, so 26-27 budget, so as much as project can be completed, ready to go by July 1, 2026, then we can get started. Cool? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go back to the top of the agenda.
And just to clear that up, we're talking about an up to 80, hopefully it
Yep,
comes
I
in
have
less
that.
than that, so, yeah.
Up to captured in the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
all.
Lord.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
Let's go back to the top of the agenda with the sewage treatment plant, Alan Crystal.
Oh, boy.
Hi.
There's
I thought you
there's
guys
a
had
lot
made
of material here on that.
I was looking like, oh, wow, they're already.
We started with Lou's items and then jumped to the shed.
Yeah, you should go.
Now we're back to the top. I'm trying to get everyone out that's here again.
Yeah, no, absolutely, great idea.
Keep you on your toes, Scott.
So on December 3rd, we received the bids for the construction portion of the sewer treatment plant upgrades project. They came in on pen bid. We had three successful bidders: Twining Construction, Blooming Glen Construction, and PKF Mark III. Twining Construction was the low bidder at $686,963.43, significantly less than the next lowest bidder at $936,140. I did perform a reference check for Twinings Construction. Palisades School District did show up as one of the projects on their reference list, so I know they've worked with the school district previously. They have worked on some projects with Cowan as well. However, those projects were not related to sewer treatment plants. And so I had a little bit of concern. I reached out to their contact, Steve McIntyre, who's their president, and I said, I'd like to see some projects that show me specific experience with this type of construction. So they did provide additional references to me with specific wastewater treatment plant upgrades, as well as installation of sewage pump stations and the type of work that they will actually be doing for this project. They were very positive references. They all had very glowing things to say, particularly with reference to them getting work done on a schedule. So for our project, obviously, that is of major significance to us. Comments like, when they start the job, they come to the job until it's done. They don't start and then go somewhere else and then come back. I did speak to Steve McIntyre about the gap between his bid and the next lowest bid. He has expressed that they are comfortable with the bid that they submitted and they are prepared to do the work as bid. And he is actually anxious to get shop drawings in my hand for specifically the generator, because it's going to be the long lead item on the job. And he'd like to get it, he'd like to have some chance of getting it installed before the plant comes online, but without getting a submittal to me, we won't know yet. So once we do have board approval, assuming we get board approval, that will be item number 1 on his agenda, is to get that process started.
I think we actually put that in the specs, that there would at least be a portable generator.
Yes, so if the permanent generator is not available when the plant goes online, the contractor will be providing a temporary emergency generator until the permanent generator arrives.
Money did a lot of work on the text. I think on the whole, we're pretty well satisfied with what they did up there.
They were the general contractor for locker rooms as well. We didn't have a problem with premise contractors, other items that came up out of their control.
Do you have any, I'm looking at the 2 largest areas where they were less. And that's the installation of the MDR package sewage treatment plant, site preparation, and then the miscellaneous site work.
I have theories, and they're theories, okay? So with the installation of the MBR itself, one of the things that really jumps out to me at the pre-construction meeting, Blooming Glen was the contractor who asked, not the pre-construction, sorry, pre-bid, I do that all the time. Blooming Glen was the contractor that asked, what happens when I'm late? My experience with Blooming Glen is they finish late. And so I expect their number is pretty heavily weighted toward the fact that they would incur additional costs in sewage hauling when they go past the deadline. That is an assumption. I think there's a lot of extra built in there for covering themselves, because the sewage hauling is going to be a significant aspect of it. While the plant is offline, we still have a small amount of flow coming. Once school starts, they could potentially have to pump twice a day if our plant isn't online. So those could be significant costs, and that would fall into, I think, that number in their bid.
So not to get too far offline, did we get all the leaks in the line down to the plant? We're not having excess water into the plant anymore?
We have not, no.
Yeah, so the work done in the collection system was very successful at reducing the INI, the rainfall sneaking into the, we don't expect that to have a major impact on the hauling for the project. And on the other line item, the construction of the miscellaneous, I'm not sure why the miscellaneous number could be tied back to the fact that a lot of that miscellaneous is the kind of site work that is more what Twining is familiar with, where the other two contractors are more mechanical contractors. And so they may even be looking at needing to sub that work out
I was
because
just gonna say, is it a subbing out possibly?
it's potential. The other thing is, I know PKF had asked about allowing crews to work nights and weekends. And so there may be some additional costs built into their schedule if they were anticipating that that kind of overtime would be necessary to meet the construction schedule. It's always a guessing game. I can't really build, I can only guess as to why their number is what it is. But having had conversation with Steve McIntyre, they feel comfortable with it. They're looking forward to doing the job for you, and they're looking forward to doing a good job.
No, I say we go with it.
Yeah.
It starts this summer.
The
Sure.
plant is going to be ready for delivery by July 1st.
All right.
They will be taking your plant offline. They're allowed to take your plant offline June 8th. And they've got about 10 weeks to pull old stuff out, put new stuff down, and get it online. It's going to be
I think the other thing too
an
is
active summer.
the fact that they have to get the pad in and cured before, anything can be placed.
Yeah, so
So everything's above ground now, right?
everything's above ground. Well,
Well,
the major treatment plant is above ground. We do have a buried sludge holding tank and an in-ground influent pump station.
But there's 2 in ground, 3 in ground now.
let's call it a holding tank, but we have a holding tank now.
Yeah, currently we have three separate tanks in ground now
And you're gonna leave one to pump out of.
during the construction. And after the construction, that will be taken out as well. After the new plant goes online and we're putting all the sewage in the new plant.
Anything else? I think,
Maybe?
okay.
And you guys are gonna keep eagle eye on them. so they're
Eagle
okay.
eye on them.
I will say culvert project came out really well.
That stipulation went in your contract when you ordered the plant. So yes, you can put it in there because your plant manufacturer is already on the line for that one. I'm not saying, he's supposed to be ready for it to ship July 1st. We may need another week before our contractor's ready to put it on site,
Ready for delivery.
but we are, and yes, eagle eye, we will have an eagle eye on it. Yes.
Very good, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 4B is just an information item, the Act 1 timeline. The due date to adopt an Act 1 resolution is the end of January. I'll be bringing forward a resolution in January to the committee that we're not going to exceed the Act 1 index, which has been,
January? Okay, I thought that was December. Okay, good.
no, this year is January,
All
so
right.
we're bringing the resolution in January.
Okay.
Next item, 4C, is the Act 1 index forecast, which is fascinating that the projection from the IFO is numbers over 3% for the next several years. So if you need to raise additional revenue without exceeding the index, it's certainly there. Item 4D is just an information item. I thought it'd be nice to have put in your hands. It's the school code implementation guide. I'll call to your attention specifically the language around cyber charter funding found on page 2 and 3 of the document. The action item that we're waiting for is PDE to promulgate regulations and a new PDE 363 form, so we can calculate what the impact to us is.
So we get to calculate it according to the new formula, or there was another option there somehow too, wasn't it? Where there was a fixed amount? I thought I had something on the idea. Had to do with a special ed.
Perhaps.
They're not in order.
I have way too much information here.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Well,
It's dangerous, right?
I'm still trying to get to these.
Item 4E is the annual bid and quote threshold. The board will recall that it's now part of state law that this changes every year based upon an inflation factor. This year it was 3%. The new bid threshold is 24,500. The new quote threshold is 13,200. So there's no action you have to take. Your policy already says we'll follow the threshold. Next item,
Chris, what was that again? Sorry, 25. 25,000.
change for quotes.
24,513.2. Thank you. Let me open it back up. 24,513.2.
This is for what?
13.2. Okay, thank you.
Next item, just good news. Again, the safety committee was effective in securing the 5% premium discount through our workers' comp insurance. We worked to the safety committee. So that will come off of, that comes off of this year's total. Next item is an updated fee agreement with the solicitor. Solicitor rates will be $210 an hour for routine matters, $160 for legal assistance, non-routine matters $230, and once for attorneys and $160 for legal assistance. I believe Dr. O'Connell has the history. You want to pull up the history?
I'd be happy to, if you give me one moment.
The current rate is $200 for routine matters and $220 for non-routine matters.
So we want to,
I go to $10,
what I heard,
$10 an hour.
this is the first time we've gotten a rate increase for a few years, I think.
So, yeah, sorry. I just need to, did I forward it to you too, Chris?
I can pull it up.
You can both, see if you can find it first.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
The routine matters were $160 an hour in 21, $170 an hour in 22.
Do you want to print it out? I'll just grab copies. Do you want to see a copy of this?
I mean, I don't need.
Okay.
I can-
Okay.
170 in 23, 224, 225, 210 and 26. And non-routine was 195 and 21, 222, 223, 220 and 24, 220 and 25, and 230 and 26.
So steady increases.
Steady increases.
But not big.
It's cost of doing business.
5%, is that how it comes out?
Well, a little less than 5%. So,
Do we know, is, who's our solicitor going, is there our contact now?
Yep, David Kahn, Sharon Montaigne, it depends on really, you know,
But not,
Ellis Katz.
Ellis.
Alice retired.
Mhm.
Yeah, but he, yeah, okay. We
Yeah.
gotta call on him once in a while, just to keep him on.
Mhm.
okay.
Next, item 4K is an annual item. This is an agreement with AMCA Systems to prepare and process IRS employer-provided health insurance. The 1095C form, basically it's a form that says how much your health insurance costs your employer. This gives us access to their system. We populate the data, they generate the forms.
That's a good thing.
It's the same price as last year, $4,200. We all good?
Yep, okay, yep.
Gary, would you take item 4L?
This is the every 3-year Microsoft agreement with the IU in a consortium with all the districts in Bucks County. This basically allows us to install Windows on PCs, Windows Server systems on servers, and then also use the Microsoft Office suite on all our systems.
I need to talk to you about
Pretty much everyone in the county participates in this
Yes.
consortium.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question, because Central Bucks and Quakertown aren't on the list. What
No,
do they do?
Central Bucks does not. They do their own just because they're so large.
How about Quakertown?
I'm not sure why they got out of it.
Wonder what they're doing.
Yeah, they might be through, IU 13 also has
Oh,
a,
like it's 11?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, maybe,
but ours was cheaper. Ours has always been cheaper, so I don't know
okay.
why they would have gone with them,
it. It's
but
the same thing.
unless they just get perpetual. No, I don't think you can even get perpetual licenses anymore.
I don't think you can get perpetual licenses. Any other questions on the campus agreement?
Yep.
Okay, so that concludes the action and discussion items. Then we move to more of the informational items.
Chris, if I could stop you for just a second.
Sure.
So in all of my confusion with these papers and jumping all around and then dropping them on the floor, you were going over item E, bid and quote threshold. Can you just explain to me what that is?
That is the threshold at which we have the bid threshold. That means if you have a quantity of supplies or construction project of 24,500 or more, you have to do a sealed bid and do advertising for 3 weeks in the newspapers of general distribution. If it's the quote threshold, you just have to do 3 telephonic quotes. Is the lowest level. Obviously, we get written quotes. It's a small uptick it's a 3% change year over year.
So
Okay, thank you.
if we want to buy an item that costs less than 11.5,
13.2.
13, less than 13.2, we could just let the administration do it.
Yes.
Then what's the delta, what's the difference between the two?
Between the bid threshold and the quote threshold?
Yeah. So at the 13.2, you still have to quote the items?
Yes.
Okay, so there's still quotes, but you don't have to bid it.
You don't have to bid it.
And once it gets over the high number, you gotta bid it.
I'll be honest with you. I took over responsibility for approving purchase orders here maybe a month and a half ago.
Mhm.
A whole lot of the purchasing we do is already on a state contract.
That qualifies for any bids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just my perception of the large dollar events, it's been all state contract activity, which you're already tagging on to a bid.
And we can always go out and bid them on our own if we don't agree with the state contract, but we hope the state contract is lowest.
State contracts give you a balance of expediency.
That's right, yeah.
They are faster than doing it yourself.
Yep.
So you have to sort of weigh.
No advertising, time out to look at stuff, no visits, just do it.
Yeah, like a lot of our custodial supplies, we buy off the Bucks County Intermediate Unit contract. Where all districts put in the quantities that they think they want. And then, you order off that list as you go.
A lot of my technology items are on
Yeah.
the CoStars or PEPM. And even if I do something larger, like network switches via E-rate, I can still do a PEPM mini bid, which PEPM then sends the bids out and then gets the returns. So it's all done through PEPM.
But items like the generator, there's the state has that number for the generator, too, this
I believe so.
$200,000, whatever it is, generator. So, I mean, that would be something that would be a high enough number that it might be worth going out on our own, but probably not. Not until we get up over, what do we set the threshold at for our?
750,000.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think we can use the same kind of number. But it's all relative.
Good discussion.
Thank you.
Got it, Linda?
Not all of it, but most of it. That helped me a lot, so thank you.
All right, let's jump to 5A, financial reports. Yeah, for your financial reports. Colleen, you should change the title of that file to read financial reports November 2025. Because it's really the November 2025 reports, and just make sure on tomorrow's agenda, it has the November 2025.
Okay.
Then we have budget transfers. There's one budget transfer of de minimis amount for your consideration this month. Then we have the prior month expenditure to date summary. We've spent 32.71% of the budget. Pretty comparable to 24-25 and 22-23. 2021, 21-22, and 23-24 were higher than the 32.71. But we're in the same ballpark. In terms of budget development, I'm really excited about coming to you Wednesday evening. Wednesday, you'll see buildings and grounds, administration, other education, capital projects, and equipment. And we'll follow the same format where it's 4-digit function, 1-digit major object. So we'll drill into the detail that way as we did before.
Could you run that list again? Buildings and grounds, what was the other?
Oh, I'm sorry if I went too fast. Buildings and grounds, administration, other education. Other education's largest line item is the tech school. Capital projects. Capital projects, it will include curriculum, technology, and facility capital projects. So it'll be a little more expensive than the list that Al showed you at the facilities committee meeting. And then equipment requests.
So something we're not talking about yet, and we can, is the capital projects list from the tech school. Now, we set aside $500,000 for that a couple of years ago, which should be more than sufficient, but I think we need to lean on the tech school a little bit and see, get
It was pulling,
reasonable numbers
it was
for 26.
pulling teeth to get the tuition figured.
I know. I've been yanking on them too, but they don't even have that audit done for 4 or 5.
Speaking of audit, today we got the list of audit entries to make, so we can populate those into our general ledger and work on the state reports. So we're on track to be bringing you the auditors in January. Then we have our charter school update. Good news, we're down 3 students at charter schools. The gap on a budget basis is $265,000 to the good. So that's exciting. Then we have our right to know request report. Had a couple right to knows in November. Nothing outlandish, I would say. Then with the economic update, state revenues are ahead November to November comparison and year-to-date comparison. So
$10.
that's positive.
It's positive, that's a good thing.
Are there any public comments?
Yes, thank you. So you mentioned the right to knows, and there was one right to know asking for the data from the comprehensive plan survey. And so this goes back to a couple of conversations that we've had at board meetings. Where are we with the whole idea of a third-party survey?
That information.
Was Saul able to get any numbers? Did he look into getting any numbers or nothing? He's not received anything. So nowhere.
Okay, well,
Why-
just an FYI, so the person who, it happens to be my neighbor, and so I had a conversation with him on the right to know, and it really, he's a reliability and validity data guy.
Yeah.
And so, I actually did look for a company to just get a quote, to see like, what would we be talking about here? And so I talked to a company called Sentiment. If we did 1,000 responses, which as you know, that's not what we're gonna get, 500 teachers, 500 parents, again, that's not gonna happen, it'd be $4,000. So you know it's gonna be much less than that. So I think that like this is in a ballpark of something that we should take a look at as a committee, as a board, and have as a regular part of our data that we do.
So that would fall under the board expenses.
Say that again, Jim, I can't hear.
That would fall under board expenses?
I mean, it could also be part of regular, district data.
We typically, legal fees comes out of that most of the time.
Yes.
Are we looking at any, we've got contracts up? No? Are we looking at needing much legal work in the next year?
Hope not.
I mean, the teacher's contract's good for a while, the sports staff's good for a while. They're the big ones. So this would be the time to do something like that, if we're gonna do it. And have it fall in that span where we're not having big legal expenses.
I mean, I know there was discussion on coming to fiscal because of pricing. That's why I just wanted to share that.
Well, so that's what, from the last board meeting, that was my understanding, is that it would be put on a fiscal agenda to talk about, and then this committee would make the decision how to proceed forward. I would assume one of the ways that we could decide to proceed forward is to direct administration to get some quotes from some companies that, conduct surveys, which it sounds like that's what you did. Of course, I've got a bunch of questions, but I don't want to start throwing questions.
Yeah,
at
and
you.
I just wanted to see like, what would a ballpark price be? Because I had no idea. So
Yeah,
that's why
no, I
just
think
thought,
that's really helpful. So, I mean, it wasn't an agenda item, so I don't want to like step on Saul's toes, since he's the one that works with you to put together these, but I think since we're discussing it,
He's the one that wants it.
well, right, so we can either put this off to the next fiscal meeting and ask that it be put on the agenda, or I suppose we could discuss now, does this committee want to direct administration to try to get some quotes to conduct a wide PHS or, Palisade School District survey?
And Saul qualifies it as a climate survey? That's part of it.
I don't even know, I mean, I guess that's fair, but I don't know in order to get quotes that would matter what we call it or what the questions are.
Right.
I wouldn't think, I mean, that shouldn't determine pricing. To me, it should be, hey, we want to hire you to put together a survey. How much does it cost? Here's how many, residents and teachers we have, if that's who we're going to send it to. I would think at least, and then
we worry about what are the questions, who formulates the questions, how, you know.
Okay.
I think we should.
Who are we gonna give it to?
I don't think that's our problem.
Well, that's-
Like what
That's why I'm looking
administration?
at
I
you.
mean, I am the lead
You wanna do it?
administration. I will do what I'm directed to do by the
Oh,
board.
okay.
So is that what the committee would like to do, is ask administration to add something else to their list? And try to get some quotes to do a district-wide survey?
I guess we need to.
Well, I don't know that we
I don't know.
need to, I'd say it's more, do we want to? So, you know, and that what I recall from the board meeting is that there was a desire to kick it back to fiscal, and it seemed like there was an interest by the majority of the board to at least know the costs involved, and then to make a decision on if we do it, when do we do it, now that we've got a dollar figure.
And Karen, you said that was $4,000?
This one was, yeah.
And what was the name of
It
that
was
one?
called Sentiment, and it's spelled like centimeter,
Got
like
it.
sentiment that way.
We'll have the discussion at the time, but I think we put out enough surveys that we don't need to do one just specifically for this, but that's my opinion.
Well, this I think is for moving forward. I mean, we do surveys all the time, like you're saying, so this would be in replacement of some of the others that are done, I think, as far as the method is what I would is how I understand it.
So I do not have that impression, but that doesn't mean that maybe it wouldn't be. But I think right now, so we don't get into the weeds, the question is,
Just whether we-
do we want to direct administration to
Okay.
get us some quotes to third-party companies and
Right.
what it would cost?
Right.
Then we've got all kinds of things that will come after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But if these quotes are, what I'll just say, high, you know,
Too high.
and we're like, ugh, this is not something we're interested in doing, then we don't ever, at least for the time being, don't need to go into the weeds. But if they come back, like with the number that you said, it's like, oh, well, you know, that seems very reasonable to collect the information that we need. We think that's a good investment. Then we get to figure out all those other details. Is it replacing? Is it addition to? What are the questions? Who
Right.
develops the, you know, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, I'm good.
Yes,
All right,
okay.
sounds good.
So what's coming?
What's, oh, see that, yeah? Sitting here freezing, I don't have my problem.
It's cold.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say.
we were without some power and heat for a little bit since yesterday.
What's that? What's that?
We were without some power
Yeah,
and heat
the
for a
whole
while.
Community, oh my gosh.
Mhm, mhm.
I think Gary turns this office down just because he isn't here anymore.
All right, our
My
next,
generator ran for more than 24 hours.
ooh, wow. Our next scheduled meeting is tomorrow at 6 PM at the library. Its sole focus is those parts of the budget we described earlier.
We're gonna have a hard copy of that.
You can make a hard copy of the
I'd like
presentation.
one, but
Colleen will take care of that.
I think we're asking her for having dinner.
May I ask?
That's what I was thinking about.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.